Okay, now I think we got it. I think we are here now. Okay, if you're just joining us, welcome to KVrising. We're here live for the first game of the Kellyville tournament. Score 14-8. Okay. McGuire down for the Lady Ponies. Bringing it up the floor. She's guarded by Rodden. Now guarded by Scott. Scott breaks the ball up. Gets it to Rodden. As she passes over to 30, that's Needham. And it goes off Bacon for the out of bounds. Lady Pony retains possession. Byram to Cargill. Cargill sizing up the defense. Being guarded heavily. Over to Byram now. Guarded by Scott. Gets it inside to McGuire, inside to Dye. Dye goes up with it. McGuire gets the ball. She's fouled. That foul is on number 3. It's Riley Bacon. Her first foul of the game. Shot just off the mark. Rebounded by the Tigers. That's Needham with the rebound. She gets it over to 22. That's Brindley Morgan. And Needham travel. Shot was good. Traveled before was called. Aiden Cargill over to Fairson. Back to Cargill, over to Byram. Byram now drives in, goes up. Saying she stepped out of bounds. Tiger ball. McGuire now over to Byram. Byram on the fast break. She gets fouled. She goes down. That's number 22, Brindley Morgan. That's her first foul of the game. Byram at the line now. Her first shot's off the mark. Second shot's off the mark as well, rebounded by Scott. Scott throws it down the court to 35. That's Bunch. Inside Bacon. Bunch again. Scott drives in. Her shot's good. That foul is on Atea Lewis. Scott Shot is good. 19-8. Like we got a substitution. Cargill coming out. That's number 4, Kyler Goins. That foul was on Goins. Her first foul of the game. Believe this is Bunch at the line. Couple of Tigers come out. Rodden and Blackwell come in for the Tigers. Goins gets the rebound. Loses track of it, goes out of bounds. Upper Elementary Day here at the Event Center, at least for this game. McGuire over to Farrison. Her shot's just off the mark, rebounded by number 3, that's Bacon. She gets it over to Needham. Now it's over to Rodden. Needham inside, back to Rodden. Out to Bacon. Bacon over to Bunch. Bunch back to Bacon. Inside to Bunch. Bunch guarded by Byram. Shoots. Her shot's off the mark. Rebounded by Bacon. And her shot goes in. 21-8. Tigers. First quarter almost over. It's the end of the first quarter. Time clock camera is not cooperating with us. Doing the best I can to get it up and running. Looks like PA is having trouble with the clock as well. 21-8. Start of the second quarter. McGuire, pass intercepted. She's fouled. Taya Lewis back to McGuire. McGuire now bringing it up the floor. She's guarded by Rodden. Goes to pass to Byram. Multiple people fall. McGuire now driving in. Gets it to Lewis. Lewis pass inside to Goins. Goins now to Byram. Byram for 3. Off the mark. Stays Lady Pony ball. Ref saying it went off Rodden. Inside to Byram. Byram, her shot's off the mark. Rebounded. Lady Pony ball again. Dye now passes to Cargill. Cargill over to Byram. Byram driving in. Her shot just off the mark, rebounded by Scott. Scott pass to Harjo. Her shot's blocked. Cargill has it now. She's guarded by Bacon. She passes to Harjo, saves it from going out of bounds. McGuire coming up behind her really quick. Her pass to Rodden. Rodden takes the shot. It's good inside the paint. 23-8. McGuire now guarded by Rodden. Pass over to Byram. Byram inside. Nobody's there. Goins gets it. Passes it to McGuire. McGuire shots up. Shot's no good. Rebound. Gets her own rebound. Passes it out. It's intercepted by Scott. Scott's now driving it down against Cargill. Behind the back pass. Can't go anywhere with it. Brenna Rodden almost had it just a little bit in front of her. Harjo passing it in for the Tigers. Gets it into Bunch. Bunch's shot is good from the paint. Cargill now over to Lewis. Lewis to Farrison. Just slightly out of bounds. She's heavily guarded there. Now Lewis passing it in for the Lady Ponies. To Farrison. She's guarded by Harjo. And looks like we got a jump ball. Possession stays with Kellyville. Lewis passing to Cargill over to McGuire. Back to Lewis over to Farrison. Farrison, three-pointer, just off the mark. That's rebounded by Bunch. Bunch gets it over to Harjo. Harjo's shot for three, just off the mark, rebounded by Dye. Dye over to McGuire. Now McGuire driving down the court. She gets inside. Shot's good. Lay in. Tony McGuire. And Oktaha answers back. Ava Scott down low in the paint. Looks like we got a timeout. Full timeout, Kellyville. Looks like the referee's talking with Tigers. Kellyville ball. Cargill pass into McGuire, back to Byram. Other side of half court. 5:15 remaining in the second quarter. McGuire driving in. She's guarded by Rodden. Now Scott. Pass inside to Byram. Byram's guarded by Harjo. Byram's jumper just off the mark. Rebounded by Cargill. And jump ball goes the Tigers' direction. Harjo inside to Bacon. Now Scott on the wing. Her shot's just off the mark. That's rebounded by Cargill. Now Ferrison back to Byram. Byram guarded by two people, not Cargill, Harjo and Scott. And now Byram, she's fouled. Shot rolls in and out. Byram to the line, shooting 2. Quick shout out our presenting sponsors, Patriot Air, CT Decorative Concrete and Construction, and CNC Construction, and Bluebell Church. So excited to have you guys on board. We look forward to doing business with you guys. If you guys have any needs, feel free to contact us and we will get you in touch with the right people. Can go on and on about Cy Wheeler and Patriot Air, how great a job he does on the HVAC. CT Concrete Construction. It's Clint Thornbrew. He does a great job as well. CNC Construction. Cliff Barnes does a wonderful job as well. And Bluebell Free Will Baptist Church. If you're looking for a church to go to, just on Highway 33, right past John Christian Trucking in Camden Ridge. Feel free to check them out. Very nice people. Lewis pass in Byram. Byram for 3 off the back of the backboard. Out of bounds, Lady Pony ball. Cargill pass into Byram. Now Byram inside of McGuire. McGuire looking for a place to go. Gets it back to Byram. Now Byram to Ferrison. Ferrison over to Lewis. Lewis to Cargill. Cargill gets it to McGuire inside. She's guarded by Needham. Byram shot. Her shot's off. Rebounded by Needham. Tigers driving down the floor. McGuire behind her. Her shot's off, just off the mark. McGuire's fouled. Miley Needham, her first foul. McGuire's shot off the mark, rebounded by Needham. Loses the ball off Byram's foot. Inside, almost. Pass was deflected by Cargill, picked up by Byram. Pass is tipped away. Has the ball tipped away, Lady Pony ball. Cargill passing in for the Lady Ponies. And she gets it to Byram, who's guarded by Needham. Byram inside to Dye. Pass intercepted by number 3. That's Riley Bacon. And now Aiden Cargill fouled. And that foul's on 22, Brindley Morgan. And Cargill's going to go to the line, shooting 1 of 1, 1 and 1. Her shot's off the mark. That's rebounded by Bacon. And she gets it to Morgan. Morgan over to Needham. That's rebounded by Bacon. Pass inside to 23, Blackwell. Now Morgan. Back to Needham. Needham over to Bacon. Bacon back to Needham. She's not there. Ball goes out of bounds. Lady Pony ball. Lady Pony's in the bonus as well. So any shot or any foul that they get to shoot a free throw, 1 and 1. McGuire, guarded by Morgan, up near half court. Good screen there by Cargill. And McGuire's shot just off the mark. That was rebounded by Bunch, and Bunch gets it over to Bacon. And now Morgan drives into the lane, guarded by Farrison. Her shot's good. Cargill up at the top of the key. She passes to McGuire. McGuire's guarded by Morgan. Good screen there by Byram. Bacon takes over. Back to Cargill, over to Byram up near the top of the key. She's guarded by Morgan. She starts driving. Morgan keeping tight defense on her. McGuire guarded by Bacon. Switch. Byram now. Over to Farrison. She's guarded by Blackwell. Her shot's up. No good, just off the mark. Rebounded by Bunch, and she gets it over to Needham. Over to Blackwell now, back to Bunch. Bunch's shot just off the mark, rebounded by Dye. Now Farrison. Morgan takes the ball away, goes in for the layup. It's no good, rebounded by Byram, gets it over to McGuire. Now back to Byram. She's guarded by Needham. Cargill now, guarded by Bacon.
Hey, Coach.
That's Needham. Her shot's just off the mark. It's rebounded by Scott. Scott goes back in. Her shot's good. 28 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Byram guarded by Needham. Dye now. She's guarded by Blackwell. Back out to Farrison. Her shot, favorite shot from three, just off the mark. Rebounded by Needham as they're driving down the court. Blackwell now guarded by Farrison. Mid-range jumper, no good. McGuire gets it to Byram. 1 second. Clock strikes the 0-0. 31-10, your halftime score. The Lady Tigers on top. We're going to take a short break, about a 10-minute break. We'll be back just before halftime starts, or halftime ends. And we will get this game back underway. But for now, enjoy yourself if you're working. Just have fun. If you're at school, have fun. Be happy you're watching the game if you're at school. Be happy you're watching the game if you're at work. I'm sure happy I'm here. It's good to have you guys. It's good to be back. We'll be back right after this. right, we are back. Welcome to the second half of this first game in the Kellyville tournament against the Oktaha Lady Tigers and the Kellyville Lady Ponies. Short halftime, seems like. No, it varies, but 10 minutes doesn't seem like 10 minutes so much. Once again, I want to give a shout out to our presenting sponsors, Patriot Air, CT Decorative Concrete and Construction, and CNC Construction. As Cargill passes it into McGuire. Lady Ponies on the opposite side of the court now. McGuire fakes out the pass. Passes it, gets the ball back down at the other end of the floor. She's guarded by a couple of Tigers. Now she's got Harjo all over everywhere. And the foul ends up being on Rodden. If you're watching this and you want to catch more games of the tournament, we are here all throughout the next 3 days. We are doing all 24 games, this being game 1. McGuire gets nutmegged as the ball goes in between her legs and out of bounds. Scott now over to Rodden. Rodden inside to Bacon. Back out to Harjo, back to Scott. Scott's shot just off the mark, rebounded by Bunch. McGuire gets the rebound. And she goes in, drives in for a layup. It's just off the mark. It's rebounded by Rodden. Gets it over to Bacon and back to Rodden as she drives up the court to the wing. Her shot's just off the mark, rebounded by Bunch. Bunch goes back up with it. It's no good as well. Almost gets the rebound there. Byram saves it from going out of bounds, gets it back to Bunch. Bunch over to Harjo, now to Bacon, and her shot is just off the mark, rebounded by Bunch. Bunch goes back up with it, and that's the first points of the second half. Byram, I think, lost a little bit of basketball knowledge there, tried to pass it back to McGuire, who is beyond half court. Can't do that, called the backcourt violation. Sometimes just slips your mind there for a minute. See your teammate open, and you just want to throw the ball to him, and she's on the wrong side of the court. Scott, her shot just off the mark, rebounded by Cargill. Cargill now driving down the floor. And she gets it inside to McGuire. That pass is intercepted by Bacon. She gets it over Scott. Fairson now guarding Scott. Now Byram guarding Scott. Her shot in the lane is good. McGuire over to Byram. Byram guarded by Harjo. Loses the ball, and the ball goes out of bounds. That's Lady Tiger ball. That shot was made by Bacon. 37-10 now. McGuire driving up the floor to Fairson. Her favorite shot from 3, just off the mark. Rebounded by Bacon. Over to Rodden now. Rodden guarded by McGuire. Fairson in the back looking in. Now Scott, guarded by Cargill. Cargill hits the ball away. Scott retains possession of the ball over to Bunch. Now back over to Rodden. Rodden guarded by McGuire. Sizing up the defense. Rodden over to Bacon. Bacon to Scott. Scott guarded by Cargill. Back to Bacon, over to Harjo. Harjo for 3. It's just off the mark. Rebounded by Bunch. Her pass gets intercepted by McGuire. McGuire driving down, fouled by Harjo. That's her fourth foul of the game. Harjo has to be careful. 4:53 remaining in the third. One more foul and she's out of the game. Fairson passing in for the Lady Ponies. Bounce pass off of off of Bacon. Now Cargill passing it in for the Lady Ponies. Overhead pass, tipped. Looks like Goins is fouled by Becca Bunch. That's her second foul of the game. Fairson now in the corner. And she's fouled by number 2. That's Brenna Rodden. That's her second as well. Fairson to the line to shoot 3 now. Shooting 3-pointer. Looks like we got a timeout. Timeout on the floor, Lady Ponies. Well, if you're watching this first game of the day, you're watching this broadcast, whether it be from work, school, home, wherever you may be, if you're watching it in the event center just to get a delayed play-by-play, feel free to tell us where you're watching from in the comments. We always check those out. We got big plans for KVrising. I know we're off for the basketball season so far. Work's kind of permitting us from being here too often, but we have big plans. We are ready to get those plans, whether it be starting next year or in a couple of years, but just know that we have big things planned. Fairson at the line, shooting 3. Her shot's just off the mark. And that shot's good. Scott now to Rodden. Rodden inside the bunch. That pass is deflected by Goins. Foul. Looks like a push on Goins. It's her second foul of the game, as Harjo's going to pass it in for the Tigers. She gets it to, passes deflected by Cargill, saves her from going out of bounds. She passes it, that is caught by Scott. As Bacon goes up, her shot's just off the mark. Bacon now guarding Lewis. Lewis over to McGuire. McGuire over to Fairson. Fairson, mid-range jumper, just off the mark. Rebounded by Bacon. Ball goes out of bounds. Stays Lady Pony ball. Cargill going to pass it in. Passes it to Fairson. Fairson over to Lewis. Lewis for 3. Just off the mark. Rebounded by Bunch. Bunch over to Rodden. Rodden guarded by Cargill. Over to Scott. Scott back to Rodden. Rodden's shot just off the mark. Rebounded by Cargill. That's like her 4th or 5th rebound of the game. Fairson, Hail Mary. Sorry, wrong sport. McGuire inside the paint. Her shot's just off the mark. Gets the rebound, puts it back up. Cargill, pass deflected. Harjo now. Pass to Scott inside. Deflected by Lewis. Gets a hand in between. Out of bounds. Goes to the Tigers. Scott inside, Blackwell. Rebounded by Needham. She keeps it in bounds. Out to Rodden up top. Back to Needham. Back to Rodden. Over to Harjo. Harjo now. Inside, Rodden. Rodden layup, good. Lady Tigers 39. Lady Ponies 11. McGuire, good screen by Byram. Goes inside, her shot's off the mark, gets her own rebound, goes back up with it. That shot's off the mark, rebounded by Rodden, going the other way. McGuire, good D on Rodden there. Gets it back to Rodden. Nope, that's over to Needham. And she was out of bounds, Lady Pony ball. Fairson for three. Her shot's just off the mark. Rebounded by Scott, going the other way. Looking for a place to go with it. She just drives in against Cargill. Her shot's just off the mark. Gets her own rebound. Puts it back up. It's no good. Cargill with the rebound now, going with the other way. Man, I wish I had a stat tracker because I would track Cargill's rebounds, because for a guard, she is getting so many rebounds. It's so impressive. Byram now over to Dye. Harjo. Nope, not Harjo. Morgan. That's her third foul of the game. Fairson. Her shot's good. Lily Fairson for three. Morgan, pass inside to Blackwell. Blackwell can't get a hold of it right. McGuire gets that pass deflected. She goes in for the layup, and it's good. The Lady Ponies are on a scoring streak now. Needham over to Morgan. Inside to Bunch. Bunch, great defense by the Lady Ponies. Got it for a travel. Byram now. Over to Cargill. Cargill looking for a place to go with it. Gets it to Fairson. Fairson acts like she's going to go up. She's guarded by Blackwell. She gets it over to Byram. Byram now. She's guarded by Rodden. Nope, sorry, not Rodden. She's guarded by Bacon. Her shot's no good. Just off the mark. Looks like Tony McGuire's fouled. That's Morgan. And that's her. No, sorry. That is Needham. And that is her second foul. Byram to Fairson. Fairson loses track of it, gets it back. Morgan with the takeaway. Jump ball, possession to the Tigers. Needham. Over to Bacon, over to Morgan now. Fairson guarding Morgan. Good defense, got her trapped. McGuire with the tip, gets the hustle. She's got a lay-in, and it's good. Tony McGuire lay-in, 18:39. Ponies have a score streak now. We got a timeout on the floor, and that timeout's charged to the Tigers. Once again, big shout out to our presenting sponsors. Patriot Air, CT Decorative Concrete and Construction, CNC Construction, and Blue Bell Free Will Baptist Church. Happy to have you guys on board. We're looking forward to doing more business with you guys. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. If you're looking for a place to advertise your business, feel free to give us a call, 918-520-6971 or 918-934-6656. One of us will get you taken care of. We can give you a price sheet if you'd like that. Feel free to contact us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Wherever you feel the safest to contact us, you can contact us at one of those phone numbers. If you want to broadcast, we have some of the cheapest prices in Creek County. Great way to get your business name out there. Back to the game. Needham over to Morgan, pass inside to Blackwell. Her shot's just off the mark, deflected by McGuire. Stays Lady Tiger ball. Blackwell going to pass it in. Pass is almost deflected by McGuire. Out to Morgan now. She drives in. Her shot's off the mark. Rebounded by Bacon. Her shot's inside and good. Tony McGuire. Over to Byram. Byram now to Dye. Dye loses track of the ball. Morgan gets a hold of it. She gets it to Needham, who gets it to Blackwell, and the lay-in is good. Now Byram guarded by Needham. Byram's fadeaway jumper just off the mark. Dye goes up with the rebound. Her shot's no good, but she's fouled. And that's Bacon's second foul of the game. Haley Dye now at the line to shoot 2. Her first shot's just off the mark, rebounded by Bacon. Not that it really counts, but Dye's second free throw is good. 1 second remaining in the third. Shot up, no good. And we are on to the fourth quarter of basketball. Next game coming up, we're going to go ahead and go off the air after this game is over. But next game up, we have the Adair boys versus the Oktaha boys. That'll be a fun matchup as well. Don't have much time in between games, but we will make sure that we get you taken care of as far as broadcast-wise. Feel free to stick around for this next game, only here on KVrising. Your exclusive broadcast center for the Kellyville tournament. I like that. Just came up with that on the spot. You'll never hear that again, but it was nice. Once again, feel free to say where you're watching from. Check those out every so often. Sometimes we have as far as California tuning in. Had some in Canada even. All over the world, the Ponies have spread. Byram passing in to McGuire. Now McGuire sizing up the defense, gets it over to Lewis. Lewis driving in. Her shot's up. No good. Rebound McGuire off her hands, and it's Lady Tiger ball. We got a travel on Morgan. Brings the Lady Ponies the ball as Byram passes into McGuire. Byram sizing up the defense. Looks over to Lewis, gets it over to Farrison. Farrison for 3, just off the mark. Rebounded by McGuire. Jocelyn Byram. Her shot's up, no good. Rebounded, tipped by McGuire. Ended up being rebounded by Oktaha. Gets it over to Needham. Needham now, pass over to Blackwell. Her shot's up and good. Mid-range jumper. Faith Blackwell for 2 off the mid-range jumper. Morgan guarding Lewis. And Byram now, pass to McGuire. Ball is tipped over to Lewis. Lewis over to Dye, now over to Farrison for 3, just in and out. Tiger ball. Haley Dye, first foul of the game. Farrison steal, Trips out the defense there, gets to Byram. Byram now driving in, passes it to Dye, who gets it back inside to Byram. Byram double teamed over to Farisham. Farisham for three, and it's good. Lily Farisham. And that was 21, Miley Holt. She was trying to save the ball from going out of bounds. Ends up going out anyway. Lady Pony ball. McGuire now bringing it up the floor. McGuire for three. Her shot's just off the mark. That's rebounded by 31. Cheyenne Dill gets it to Needham. Needham inside to Blackwell, and her shot's up and good. As she's fouled, she goes down. Fouls on Byram. That's her second foul. Bucket's good by Blackwell. She's going to go to the line to shoot one. One. That shot's no good. Still Lady Tiger ball. As the Lady Tigers pass in, Morgan. Inside to Blackwell. That's number 12, Haley Van Brunt. So Van Brunt gets her first of the game. Now Lewis over to Butler. Pass is intercepted by Morgan. Lewis playing defense. Morgan loses the ball. Now Lewis. Pass over to Butler. Butler's shot's no good. Needham over to 21. That is Holt. Now Blaze over to Lewis. Lewis is shot off the mark, rebounded by Needham. Blaze gets it to Butler. Actually, Lewis gets it to Butler after going down on the floor. Pass inside to Goins. Back out to Lewis. Lewis, mid-range jumper. Shots just off the mark, rebounded by 12. Van Brunt. That's Needham. Pass intercepted by Dill. Dill shooting one. Shots just off the mark, rebounded by Needham. She's double teamed by Horacek and Goins. Jump ball stays Lady Tiger possession. Referee has to have the ball first. Warnock passing into Butler. 4:13 remaining in the game. That shot's just off the mark. Goes out of bounds. Lady Tiger ball. Pass inside. Loose ball. Jump ball. Lady Pony ball. Warnock goes up with the ball just off the mark. That's Holt. Ball goes to the Lady Ponies. That's Needham. Her shot's just off the mark, rebounded by Butler. Butler over to Lewis, being double teamed, back to Butler. Butler loses the ball, keeps it in bounds though. Inside to Goins. Goins out to Warnock. Warnock fouled. Fouls on 22, that's Morgan, that's her fourth. As in, they've got two players now in foul trouble with 2:55 remaining in this game. Warnock to the line. Her shot's just off the mark, that's rebounded by 21, Miley Holt. Passes deflected, picked up by Goins. Goins against Holt, that's picked up by Morgan. And that's Gabby Warnock with the foul. That's her first of the game. Morgan shooting two. Once again, up next on the agenda, the Oktaha boys against the Adair Warriors. Shot good from Morgan at the line. Warnock bringing it up the floor. Needham takes the ball away. Now bring it up the other side of the floor. Her shot's up, no good. Rebounded by Horchak. Now Lewis bringing up the ball. She passes to Warnock. Warnock inside to Goins. Can't get a hold on the ball. Warnock picks it back up, back to Horchak. Horchak driving in. Miley Holt foul. That's her first of the game. Foul on Horchak, so Montana Horchak to the line to shoot the ball. 1-1. Lady Ponies in bonus again. Also one foul away from putting the Tigers in bonus. And that's rebounded by 12. It's Van Brunt. And pass intercepted by Blaze. As she goes down the court, has the ball taken away from her by 31. That's Dill. Dill pass to Morgan. Morgan, shot is up, no good. Van Brunt puts the shot back up, and it's good. A little bit of a mistake there. Butler. Butler now inside to Powers. Powers tries to put the shot up. It's no good. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Tigers, so Blaze going to pass it in for the Lady Ponies. She gets it into Smith, who's tripped up. So Candace Smith going to go to the line. As we got a substitute, that's the 5th foul on Morgan. Couple of the Oktaha girls got in foul trouble there. Smith, her shot's good. She was shooting 1-1. Everybody goes back to play defense, and she's still supposed to be shooting. So first shot's good. Second shot just off the mark, rebounded by number 23, and that is Blackwell. Blackwell over to Needham. Needham inside to Van Brunt. Back to Needham on the corner. Her shot is good for 3. So Butler over to Smith. Smith inside to Powers. Powers out to Blaze. Blaze drives in. That's a pass into Krebs as her shot goes off the top of the backboard. Now Van Brunt up top. Over to Needham. Back to Van Brunt, guarded by Blaze. And Dill drives in. Her shot's just off the mark, rebounded by Blackwell. Her shot goes up, it's blocked. Back over to Dill. Ball gets tipped out by 21, Holt. Now Butler drives up the floor, 19 seconds remaining in the game. Smith now to Powers. Powers back to Blaze. Blaze with the shot, up and good. 3-pointer for Blaze. And that shot's good by the Tigers. Didn't get a number on that. Game's over, 61-26 final. First game of the tournament down. Kellyville is going to play tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And the Tigers are going to play tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. We are going to go off air just for a few minutes just to get everything set up, and we will be right back after this.